think the issues and priorities of the rural voters have changed since the last election, or do they remain the same?
No, I don't think they remain the same. And just a little correction, and it would be something that would be surprise many here. I haven't been suspended this time. I'm not in the list of 140. Yeah. So the question with regards to rural, the agenda, there are a lot of aspirations. There is the young now looking forward, looking towards an India which is talking about being amongst the top 5 nations in the world in terms of GDP, and it's talking about moving into the top 3, it's talking about a $5 trillion economy. So there is this entire sense of aspiration that yes, we also need to be part of this system. How are we addressing that aspiration? Our aspiration should have to meet up with not just their expectations, but how we can help them sustain those aspirations and make them dream big. And that, I think, is the fundamental idea that hopefully India as an agenda will take forward.
Okay, taking off from that, has the rural youth become more aspirational than it was in the last election?
Absolutely. I think since the youngsters are looking at a lot of aspects of future options, education options, career options, jobs, etc., they do have these aspirations, and the aspirations will only keep changing with the changing times. So today, if they aspired, a farmer's child wanted to be a farmer or expand the farming space for himself, he may look at other career options as well, because a lot of things are opening up for them. They're seeing a world, and now internet is bringing the world close to you. You're seeing how people from other countries are living. And what I personally believe is that employment would be a huge issue for the young. Educational opportunities, whether they're looking at skill-based opportunities, whether they're looking at getting these degrees and becoming entrepreneurs, and most important, the entrepreneurship is that's idea of that we will start our own businesses is something that is hitting even every rural town. And 2-tier cities, rural areas are also coming up with, I think Rahul was mentioning YouTube. You are seeing a lot of YouTube content coming from there. So those are, and if you look closely, if you hear closely, you'll probably see an emergence of a different agenda. But I agree, at the core of it is what Saptagiri was saying, social justice, political justice, and economic justice. That would be the basis of any ideas or visions that we push forward. And I think not just in rural areas, even in urban areas, that's a problem of underemployment and unemployment.
Mr. Ulaka, Mr. Chaturvedi stressed on the problem of unemployment, and data says the unemployment rate is the highest in the last 4.5 decades. And what are you going to promise to the rural youth? What are you going to be your offer to the rural youth? How are you going to solve this problem? The India Alliance in general and your party in particular?
Yeah, definitely, it's a very good question, and we have been deliberating it also. Like, we understand that Modi government is the reason for unemployment, which is the highest in more than 4.5 decades. But we just don't want to go with the problem. We also want to come with a solution. One problem solution which we think is this skill development, ancillary units. Now you have large industries, but if you have the ancillary, for example, I'll say bauxite. You have alumina which is being exported to outside country and come back as aluminium. Why can't you have a refinery and then a smelter plant in that place? And then the end product. So this, you need to think how you're going to expand on whatever capacity you have. The biggest challenge for me is this employment system. Currently we have many colleges and which are in like private colleges, so on. The people who are getting educated, they are not employable. I was a program manager in Infosys as well. I see that the pass outs normally, which we've seen some decades back, and now they are not employable. And people are not willing to move out of their houses because there is no job opportunity. So they are staying unemployed. We have started on this. If you look at Karnataka and Telangana, we are working with industry leaders how we can build ancillary units, how we can build this small MSMEs, for example. The Notebandi was the main reason why MSMEs completely shut down. I had a parliament question where they said in KBK region around 90% MSMEs were shut down completely. how we can encourage this MSME. This is also in our blueprint also, like it will come in our manifesto as well, which is work in progress. How to enforce this MSME sectors, how to enforce that we have ancillary units, how to ensure that the youth are being trained and they are more employable. Skill development is something there. And we will discuss with industry leaders, just not create big industries, but they need to come with something where they can employ the youth also. And interestingly, there is Khargeji, he had Article 371J, which said in the Karnataka-Bangalore region, only the locals 80% will be employed locally. This is a phenomenal thing which not many of us know, and this he discussed with me, like this is what he has done. Now in my Koraput parliament segment, we have many industries, but our youth are not getting employed. One, the industry doesn't care if they are locals or not. Second, they are not employable. This needs to be fixed. And this is a fix in all the different clusters which our idea is. And also something, till this is fixed, our government in Karnataka, they've been giving unemployment grants, for example, like 3,000 for graduates and 1,500 for this diploma holders, so that they get trained for some certain point of time and then they get engaged. So this is something we will take care of the youth. They need to believe in us, our leadership, and this we will deliver. Whatever we promised, we have delivered. We have delivered Manrega, we have delivered RTA, Food Security Act, many flagship programs, which is only for the poorer masses. This is what our belief is.
I think you'll agree that closely linked to the problem of unemployment is the problem of distress migration, which is a huge problem in Odisha. And the government and the ruling party, they are saying migration happens everywhere, not just in Odisha. People from Gujarat keep coming in, work here. People from Uttar Pradesh, they come work here. Similarly, Odisha people go out there. So there is nothing very startling or very distressing about the problem of migration. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's really this government, Odisha government, especially BJD, should be ashamed of themselves that distress migration is happening in a state like Odisha, which is so rich in minerals, so rich in resources. When you can give 50 lakh to each panchayat before election, why can't you take care of workers and engage them locally? And this distress migration, it happens only in Odisha. People from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, they come here in higher jobs. But our people go there as low-end manual jobs where they can be easily employed here. It's an agriculture-rich state. It's a resource-rich state. There's no problem. Like, you need to have a focus and vision to take care of our own people. And this is the biggest failure of this government, that distress migration is still happening. We have seen in Corona times, around, I think, 1 million people, they came back from Gujarat here. They were distress calls, they walked, they came back by buses through multiple days. People will never forget this. And let me tell you something, like all these things can be hushed up, but ultimately when you reach out to the people, they will understand what is happening. You need to come with a new narrative and how to solve it. And definitely a week is a long time in politics, this was understand here.